What is up, members of my collector corps? It is I, Super Mario Zilla, or you can call me Vinny, and today we will be taking a look at the S.H.MonsterArts Godzilla 2023 from the movie Godzilla -1. The figure was revealed shortly after the first trailer for -1 was released. This figure was very much anticipated, and could you blame the community? This is a great design for Godzilla. I'm serious, in my humble opinion, this is one of the best Godzilla designs. Bandai even had access to the CGI files while working on the figure. Godzilla clocks in at an MSRP of $140, which is not a nice price at all. And when the figure was in hand, there was a giant divide in the community. Some folks say it's good, some folks say it sucks, and so on. For good reason, this should have come out perfect. Yet they still managed to botch the release. It really is Shin Godzilla all over again, although it's not that bad. But still a similar situation. It all fell apart as soon as the first in-hand images got released. Where do I stand? You probably already know or don't. Let's not waste any more time and see what's up. Let's get the negatives out of the way. The eyes are really messed up. Not only are they not looking straight, my right eye has been printed off sculpt. And this isn't just on my figure, other copies share the same problem. This looks really bad. How do you get the printing incorrect? Especially when the Marvel figures or other live-action Bandai figures get it right. The teeth are sloppy, no ifs, no ands, and no buts. It's laughable how they still can't manage to get the teeth and the eyes consistently correct. The scarring on the left side of the face is also not good looking, very sloppy paint job. The paint job is the next negative. The problem isn't that it doesn't match the prototype, the real problem is the execution. How the paint was applied just doesn't look good at all. Everything was dry brushed on to bring out the details. Okay, cool. But the paint is so heavy-handed and inconsistent, no subtlety, no gradients or any of that. It doesn't look good. Some places it looks so muddy and ugly. This doesn't look like a $140 paint job. It looks so rushed, so ham-handed, I can't appreciate the details when the paint looks like this. And there's some spots, like on the lower ankles, where there isn't any paint at all. Nothing. It's empty. How do you miss that? I have no idea, but they did. The toes are the biggest offenders at the paint not looking as good as it could've. You had one easy job, Bandai, and you botched it. The only place where the paint looks acceptable is the dorsal plates. I'm serious, they look pretty good here, but everywhere else, not so much. It's so pitiful what they released on the market. They released this for $140, that's really sad. However, one positive I can take from this, the sculpt. The sculpt looks excellent. They had access to the CGI model as I stated before, and it shows. Godzilla looks fantastic in the sculpt department. It looks really good. Pretty much perfect. Godzilla's design here is ferocious and they captured it really well here. Excellent. My favorite part being the dorsal plates. Sculpt and paint wise are well done, it's just a shame that the rest of the figure wasn't like this. Overall, Godzilla looks fine, but definitely not $140 fine. This is a ripoff for that price.
If that is another highlight I could talk about, it is the articulation. I think the articulation is great on this figure. There are some questionable choices, but overall, pretty much 99% of it is solid. So, the jaw can open, it's on a hinge, and there's a bit of engineering going on with the membrane, the webbing in the mouth that moves with the jaw. So that is pretty cool. I like that. The head is on a ball joint right here, and the neck is on two ball joints right here and here. They can move down. Well, look down. He can look down just about this far. And it can obviously look side to side. It just needs a bit of finagling. You gotta make sure you're not clashing everything with the sculpt, because you don't want to ruin it. Wiggle around. Now, in terms of looking up, These dorsal plates right here do move a little bit. You can have Godzilla look up really far, but with the dorsal plates engineered like that. Now, on some copies, some collectors had theirs pop off, and they had a hard time getting it back in. I haven't had that problem, at least not yet. So be aware that yours may end up with that problem. Just be aware. Arms are on ball joints. Can move just about that far out and can also rotate. Biceps can swivel, but they're on ball joints. Elbows are on ball joints, so he could move them just about 90 degrees. And it turns it straight out. Not completely because the sculpt gets in the way, but just about that far. You gotta be careful. It's a tiny joint, so you don't want to break that. Hands are on ball joints. Standard stuff. There's a ball joint here in the waist and here, so he can crunch forward just about this far. And he can crunch backward. Well, not very far at all, but obviously he can lean, rotate, if you so wish. There is a ring here that prevents gapping in the sculpt, here on the waist. So, that's always nice. Pretty cool. Legs are on ball joints. Can kick them forward just about this far, though be aware it is at an angle, and can kick backward just about this far. Splits. Woo! Yeah, he could pretty much do the splits. Knees are on ball joints. He can kick them out straight, just like this, and can bend them just about this far. Ankles are on ball joints. Although they don't really move that much, so beware, ankle articulation is not all that. You'll get most ankle rocker out of the knees. Because of how it's sculpted, it doesn't look bad at all. Now, the toes, they actually are on ball joints. Don't be too excited, it's not as impressive as it sounds. Sure, it works, but people made such a big deal out of it, and it's like, it's kind of standard stuff, really. But, you know, it's still a welcome inclusion. It's still a welcome inclusion. I'm not saying it's bad. Tail. This is a really fun tail. This is a really fun tail. Ball joints all around. Pretty much all of them are double ball pegs. It's, although not as flexible, it is still possible to get tons of poses out of the tail in really fun ways. If they don't pop off on you, that is. That is a fun tail. That's a fun tail. So Godzilla's articulation is not bad at all. He can be posed in many different ways. The only issue you may have is with these. But that's it. Other than that, the articulation is not bad. It feels nicely engineered, so yeah, not a problem at all. I don't have an issue with it. So that's another positive. That's another positive I will happily give the figure. Good articulation.
I hope you don't need me to spell it out for you that there is no accessories. Here's a size comparison with other figures you may or may not own. Godzilla 23 is on the taller side, not Shin Godzilla big, but still bigger than your average MonsterArts. So if you want him on a display, just be aware he's not the usual size. Bandai, what are you doing? This is yet another great example of a $60 toy being disguised as something more than what it actually is. Is this the worst Monster Arts figure? No. I don't even think it's top 5 or top 10 bad. It's just frustrating to see something like this get released after so much hype around it. The prototype was gorgeous, and we got this. Great sculpt can only go so far if the paint is unable to complement said sculpt. But overall, I'm very mixed. There's things I like and things I don't like. This figure is a weird one, a mixed bag. Not good, but nothing awful. 5 out of 10, it's a mediocre mess, and it wouldn't have been if it was cheaper. But you know what? If you want minus Goji, you're not stuck with Monster Arts. Super 7 revealed theirs. And even though the photos of it are renders, it looks pretty good. And it's $60 cheaper than this figure and is taller. So why get this when there's probably a better option? And yes, I said probably because Super 7's figure is not even out yet. So we'll have to wait and see. This figure could have been so much more, but in the end, I and others felt like we got slapped in the face pretty hard. Almost like how dare we have faith in this release. In the end, I don't recommend this release unless it's on sale. It's not worth your time, effort, or money. I would end this video giving a message to Bandai, but last time I checked, they don't give a damn about North American feedback, so I won't even humor them by wasting my time.